Number 3 in our post-spring Big Ten power rankings, the Oregon Ducks. And Dan Lanning just keeps living the old peaceful life up there in the Pacific Northwest, bringing in solid recruiting class, bringing in the number 5 transfer portal class. They're going to have a transition at quarterback as well, with Dante Moore taking over. Um, Obviously, they transitioned pretty seamlessly from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel. So that's the big question: is how will the transition be? We know Dante Moore is very talented. He played a little bit at UCLA a couple of years ago in a couple games. He's going to have Evan Stewart back at wide receiver. They're always going to have really good wide receivers up there. Um, Speaking of portal, man, they did some work on the offensive line in the portal, and they got Emmanuel Pregnon from USC, and then this Isaiah World dude from Nevada. Like he's already top 5, top 10 in some mock drafts for next year. Comes in to just absolutely bolster that offensive line. They got Mekhi Hughes, the starting running back at Tulane, and Malik Benson from Florida State. On defensive side of the ball, I talked about it, back in February with Dylan Thieneman from Purdue at safety, like just a leader, like probably going to be a captain on that defense. So it looks like another solid year from Oregon. Now they're going to be starting to be looked at as one of those teams. It's like, and it's kind of already happening.
Yep.
When are you going to get it done? Right? I mean, when obviously, playing Ohio State last year and the role they were on in the Rose Bowl, you were undefeated. I mean, they won the Big Ten last year in their first year in it. So, I mean, it's not like it was a bad year, but Oregon fans and pundits around the country are going to be like, they're going to start saying, hey, Dane Lanning needs to start winning some more of these big games.
Yeah, I agree. Last year, they at least, they beat Ohio State in the regular season, beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship. Year one of the Big Ten, win the Big Ten. But yeah, I agree. Right now, they're definitely one of those teams that people expect for them to start trying to compete at the national championship level, not just win some big games in the regular season. They need to take that next step forward. And like you just mentioned, like a lot of the guys, roster wise, they obviously have the talent and the roster to be able to do just that. Hey, my question would be, if you remember beginning of the year last year, like their offensive line was awful and was a huge concern. And then they out of nowhere just figured it out, made a few moves, figured it out. And it wasn't a problem really going down the stretch the rest of the season. And so with bringing in heavy in the transfer portal, now they brought in 3 really talented guys that you just mentioned from Nevada, USC, and Texas State. Like, other thing with that is too, these guys have played a ton of football in college football. Like, all 3 of these guys have been multi-year starters and have played over 20-something college football starts in their career overall. But dude, Mekhi Hughes, you could probably say again that he's absolutely one of the best overall transfers in the transfer portal with whatever cycle this last year. And he was top 10 in the nation in rushing last year, rushed for over 1,300 yards and over 1,400 yards back-to-back years at Tulane. Obviously, man, in that Will Stein offense, we saw last year with Jordan James. I mean, they're going to run the football, and he's going to put up big numbers as long as he stays healthy. Noah Whittington's behind him. He's back. Noah Whittington's been the backup running back, it seems like, forever there at Oregon the last couple of years, and a solid 1-2 punch there. DeCorian Moore, could he be? We've seen true freshman wide receivers coming out of high school the last few years make just massive impacts in college football for their respective teams, like Ryan Williams last year at Alabama, obviously Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. DeCorian Moore was the number 1 wide receiver in the country coming out of high school, out of Duncanville powerhouse there in Texas. I would expect in this offense with his talent, he's going to get a lot of chances this year to be that next one of that true freshman that can make a huge impact for a team. Dude, that Dylan Thieneman guy that you mentioned, Purdue, what the hell was Purdue doing the last 2 years, bro? You had Nick Scorton last year that transferred to Texas A&M. Like, you look at some of these rosters, dude, at some of the biggest programs in the country, and they've got like random transfers from Purdue that you go like from the biggest programs in the country that these coaches of their respective programs that they're at now just rave about these Purdue guys. And then you go look at it like, dude, Dylan Thieneman led all Big Ten DBs last year in tackles. 2 years ago as a true freshman, he was 3rd team All-American and 3rd in the nation interceptions with 6 interceptions, 5th in the Big Ten in tackles, led all freshmen in the entire country in tackles.
It's not
And
necessarily
Purdue,
a great thing when your safety's leading your team in tackles, though.
exactly.
Yeah.
Good point, man. But for real, like that just tells me more about how just awful
Yeah.
Purdue was
Yeah.
these last couple of years. But overall, man, I mean, it really comes down to, for me, I think Purdue is going to be, Purdue, sorry, talk about it. I think Oregon's going to be really good at the skill position like they always are on both sides of the ball. They're going to have speed to burn on both sides of the ball. It's what do they do on the line of scrimmage? They've improved dramatically on the line of scrimmage since Dan Lanning's got there. If the offensive line transfers can hit, I think Oregon will be right there. Do you expect Dante Moore just to be next man up there at Oregon and Will Stein's offense? Like, do you expect some dramatic drop off there?
I don't think it's as big of a drop off as like a Will Howard or Julian Sayin. I think it's I think Dante Moore.
Buckeye fans may turn this
I think
off.
Dante
after
Moore's
that.
he's got some talent. He's going to use his legs a lot, so I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little more than they did with Gabriel. And so I think the rushing attack. I mean, I'm not worried about the Oregon offense.
I'm not either. Last thing on that, I think it tells us a lot about Dante Moore and what Oregon thinks of him. That they paid, dude, it's Oregon. He's a former 5-star, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, was a returning starter at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
And they paid him enough money to come be the backup and sit for a year.
Yep.
Last year.
Yeah.
So that tells me all I need to know about him, what Oregon thinks of him, that they basically just went ahead and paid him a ton of money last year to sit over there and chill on the bench to wait his turn. Now it's his turn. I'm with you. I don't expect a ton of drop off of the Oregon offense under Will Stein.